This is Ring the Damn Bell, your weekly shot of Sixers news, stories, and heartbreak. Let's go trust the neighbors.
Welcome to Ring the Damn Bell for this. That's all, folks. Edition, I guess. Well, Sanoj, season's over. And I guess
we wrapped up our first season of the podcast. How about that? Not on a great note, though.
Nah. Well, actually, the episode we had quite a few New York Knicks fans kind of troll us there, chime in with that last one. But
it was great for the algorithm. Let's say that.
It was. But anyway, hey, but before we get started talking about the season, we're done with the regular season, obviously. But we do plan to continue throughout the season. We're going to go weekly, talk about off-season stuff, and have a little fun there. It's going to be an interesting off-season. And I guess we'll talk about that in a minute. But hey, before we get into that, Sanoj, what are your thoughts about about Game 4 and just about the season in general? Let's do a little reflection.
It pretty much ended the way we expected. I don't think we thought too much of it. I think the problem is that the win against Boston gave us some hope. It's the first time we beat Boston in 40 years, so that was something amazing. But even going into the Knicks series, we knew it was going to be an uphill battle, but at the same time, I think we kind of knew going into this. We knew it was going to be an uphill battle against the Knicks, and I think you and I both thought it was going to be a hard win. But I thought at least 1 or 2 wins. I didn't expect them to go out in the fashion they did. It was, I guess, it was what was expected, but not that.
I agree. I mean, we came off the high of coming back from 3-1 against Boston, and then we get blown out in Game 1. Game 2 was a very competitive game, and I think that's, if we'd have won that game, it would have been a different series. I still don't think we would have won the series. Maybe we would have went down to 5, maybe possibly 6. But you know what the realization is, Sanoj? They're just a much better team than we are. They're a more complete team. They're deeper. They have a bench, almost player for player at every position. They have better players. I mean, Jalen Brunson is unstoppable. I
don't want to sit here and give the Knicks too much props, but you have to give them something there. The owners we know James Dolan, he's a big time billionaire, New York guy. He inherited the Knicks from his father and MSG, all that. Now, that being said, their first very move to go towards competitiveness was go after Jalen Brunson. Everyone laughed at that. That's your big move, Jalen Brunson. They hired his dad first as a coach. Then they brought Jalen Brunson over. And then they just started adding piece after piece after piece. And every time I thought, okay, that's enough. Then they add another piece. Then they add another piece. Then they add another piece. And I'm saying all this to say is I saw it back then. This is the team they're going to be. I was very surprised last year that the Pacers took them out in the playoffs. Now, Halliburton and the Pacers had a magical run and took them out. But this is the Knicks team I expected. Mm-hmm. And, of course, this is who we run it. We finally get over the Celtics hump. And then this is what we run into. That was one of the greatest performances we have seen in a long time. I don't even know what the 3-point field goal percentage was, but it was one for the books.
It was high, and I'll tell you. Hey, I gave you some thoughts on the game too, but just a little side story, and you know this. So we went to the game Friday night, the first game at XMA, and that's we kind of got handled that game, right? And the fans bust fans in. They took over the arena. So we were down at the shore, did a remote there, and we went to our favorite restaurant down in Margate Saturday night between Game 3 and Game 4, and we're sitting in the restaurant, and I look over. There's a table for 6 that nobody's at. A few minutes after we sit down, a group of pretty big guys sits down, and one of them is Patrick Ewing. Mm-hmm. And I said, that's Patrick Ewing. That's amazing. So they're sitting very close to us. I get up, go to the bathroom. So I walk up to him, and people weren't bothering him, and I wasn't going to bother him. But I just said, hey, Patrick, you going to let us win one? And he just laughed. He goes, no. He said, we really took over the arena last night. He goes, we're taking it down at 4. And I said, you probably will. So you played a great game. I said, you just can't stop Brunson. He said, well, yeah, he's sitting right over there. And Jalen Brunson was in the restaurant too, a few tables over. So again, we didn't go bother, but we were walking out of the restaurant, and Jalen Brunson's walking out with us, right in front of us, and he had his kid with him, his wife, some other guys on who it was. Cute kid. I talked to him for a few minutes. Very, very nice, friendly guy. Act. I said, Jalen, you gonna let us win one? He goes, no, we can't do that. And I complimented him on the game. He was very good with that. Very humble. Just seemed like just an all-around good guy. So it was pretty wild, running into those guys and being able to talk to them for a few minutes. But I was impressed. They were both very friendly, very open, not cocky, humble. It was a kind of a nice experience, to see that. But anyway, that's my aside. But
yeah,
it was interesting. I could have Tanya Harding,
Yeah, you could have got Brunson and
that's
gave
right.
us. We would. They don't even have OG Anunoby, and they still killed us.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, they would have won even without Brunson. It doesn't matter. Sixers are in a really bad spot. They're in a disarray. This series, we can say one thing. A good thing about this series is that we know they're going to clean house now. Unfortunately, the one that needs the biggest removal from the team won't be is Josh Harris.
Yeah,
it all starts with him and it goes straight down. But reflection on the season, this stupid hope, disappointment. I believe again, it is what it is. All season long, I said, I'm a realist. I base everything on historical context. Of course, they get our hopes up. You get your feelings caught into it. And then here we are now again. Now, we know this offseason is going to be it's going to be something else. I don't know what they're going to do. They can't move people. You take it from here, John.
Well, we got I'm going to let you relax a little bit because I can tell you're a little upset, which is okay. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough next couple of years. We're kind of in purgatory, right, with these max contracts. And, we got a 37-year-old, what do we call him? 37-year-old max contract player who's really nothing more than a role player. Kind of shows flashes of but he's old. He's kind of old. And a 32-year-old max contract player whose body's broken down. So, those pieces aren't movable over the next few years. We got a pretty dynamic backcourt. But beyond that, what do we have? I mean, we have no bench. KO is it, Kelly Oubre, love Kelly Oubre, love Karate Man. I mean, he's aggressive, but he's a role player as well, and
we have a bunch of free agents.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. It's going to start with, does Morey stick around? Does Nurse stick around? I'll be surprised if they do. I listened to a few stuff on social media today on YouTube. I listened to some channels. People were talking and they all said the same thing. Sixers are in a bad spot and they don't know what they can do. Some are saying Morey is probably going to stick around. They keep playing this blame game. How can you have anyone at fault if Embiid's always injured? And then how can you blame Embiid because he's not injuring himself? This bad stuff just keeps happening. We're in a bad place, and I don't know how to get out of it.
Well, look, Sanoj, you said it, I think, in the last episode. And, if you go back to the trade deadline this year and, we got rid of Jared McCain and got nothing back for him and, to skirt the luxury tax, right? If Jared McCain had been available in game 2, maybe he comes in, hit a couple threes, he gives Maxey. Maybe we win game 2 and maybe we make it a series. If this was a competitive series, gone to 6 or 7 games, we might be sitting here thinking it's not going to change the outlook over the next few years because we're stuck with contracts, but it might have been a different look. After game 7, we were all pretty high, right? We felt pretty good about things. They started to gel. Hey, this is the team that we thought they could actually be. And, we got that little bit of hope again. And then now our everything got crushed. So I don't know. It's, when you watch, it's kind of sad. I mean, I never thought we were going to win this series. I did.
Of course. Yeah.
I thought we would be competitive, which we weren't. I think we got blown out. I think we lost the series by like 85 points total. That's horrible. And when you
Knicks are on a tear.
They are on a tear. I think they won 7 in a row now in the playoffs. I mean,
7 in a row. I think their differential winning points is like over the last 7 games, 94 points they won. At all the comers they won by is like 94 points. It's just it's crazy.
But watch one of the disappointing things. You watch game 4, and when I watched some of the replays, and you watch, we didn't close out. We were back in that drop coverage again, and when we weren't fighting through screens and weren't hitting the rotations and they're shooting. Our guy, it was like they didn't even care. It was just they packed it in, and that's disappointing. You never pack it in, and they did.
It didn't help that in the after the game presser where Embiid says he felt like it was a successful season.
Yeah,
that sounds like Jaylen Brown saying this is one of my favorite seasons after they lost in 7 being down 3-1. And none of it makes sense. I think, did you hear Embiid say, well, I'm happy my knee feels good.
I heard that.
My knee feels good. I'm ready to come back. You know what's happening here? There's a chance if the Sixers can move him, if a team wants him, he's already putting it out there. Oh, I'm good. I'm good to go. So
well, even did you hear Nick Nurse's post-game conference too? He says, well, if you'd told me during the season when all we were going through everything that we'd have, won a 7-game series against Boston, and he probably would have taken that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, Sanoj. Let me ask you this. We're going to talk about the offseason in the offseason. We'll see what happens, once everybody gets back from Cancun, right?
Yeah.
But how do you think the Knicks are going to do? I don't know that they match up really well with Detroit or Cleveland. If it is Detroit, which it probably will be.
Well, I think the next game is tonight. It's 2-1 Pistons, I think.
Yeah. And it's in Cleveland tonight, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Game 4. Cade Cunningham is a force, right? He's a big guard. New York, I don't think New York walks over Detroit like they did us. I think they have more pieces.
I'm going to tell you, I don't know what to think anymore. The way New York looks right now, they look unstoppable. The only team that can maybe stop them is OKC. If the Knicks do make the finals, I don't want to leapfrog over the Eastern Conference Finals. But if the Knicks and OKC square up against each other, that's going to be a great finals to watch.
It would be, yeah.
I know they have to get past the Pistons or the Cavaliers. The Knicks have let the Knicks fans down also these last few years. They lost to the Pacers. They lost the year before, obviously. So anything can happen. I don't want to see the Knicks go to the finals, but if they do go to the finals, I think the OKC Knicks finals will be great to watch. And despite how I'm feeling right now about the Sixers, I still love basketball. I still love the NBA. I'm going to watch it all. I don't know why Wemby had to try to take off Nas Reese's head with the elbow.
Yeah, he got kicked out. Oh, look, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to watch it. We're going to watch playoffs. We're going to talk about them each week. We'll kind of reminisce about the season and talk about what we think could possibly happen here in the offseason, which I don't know what it could be, but maybe we'll be.
I mean, right now it starts with the upper echelon. It starts with what happens to Morey, what happens to Nurse, and then what can they do with this roster, which I don't know what they can do. I'm going to tell you,
I think they're both going to be back, believe it or not.
Well, they're only back because no one else wants them.
Well, that could be. Well, they don't have to be traded; they could just be fired. But I don't know.
Oh no, I'm sorry. When you said that, my brain straight went to PG and Embiid.
Oh no, I'm talking about about Nurse and Morey. Yeah, they're going to be back. I mean, I think they will be back. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't see how Nurse comes back. Morey has a little leverage.
I'll tell you, I really saw that look of frustration in his face when Kelly didn't fight through that beginning of the third period. Kelly didn't fight through that screen, and the puppet had to give an easy layup. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, he was frustrated. But it just, how does this happen? How does that happen?
We might be one of the most screwed teams in the league right now with the contracts and the aging players we have, and what moves can we make? Philadelphia is not a destination people are clamoring to get to.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, watch out for the Wizards. Number 1 pick, right? They're gonna
number 1 pick. That's another one we have to battle through next year, probably.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll see. Well, look, Sanoj, we'll keep it short tonight. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. I just got home. We're obviously back in our home. I'm back home today. Mm-hmm. I had one comment in the last one says, I was giving the Sixers fans a bunch of shit for not showing up at the game, and I watched it from my place down at the shore. I said, that's bullshit. I was at the game. I just went back to the shore after the game. So I corrected him. But anyway.
Yeah, good.
Well, anyway, been a fun season. Should be an interesting off season. Like you said, we love basketball. So we'll stick with this and we'll see what happens, and hopefully something magical, something we don't completely not expect. Who knows? I don't know.
Yep.
I have no idea what can happen. But anyway.
See what happens.
We will see. Well, we will be back weekly. We'll be here next week. I think we have a guest coming on next week. We'll see. We'll keep that a surprise. So if people see this, we have a guest coming on, and we should have a little fun. And think that's it for us. Please like and subscribe. Don't get my buddy here depressed. He says he doesn't care, but he does. He cares.
I don't care at all. I hope everyone celebrated the mothers and had a great day yesterday.
Absolutely. Hope everybody had a great Mother's Day, and coming up on Memorial Day pretty soon. We're going to get into the summer and hopefully some nice weather and spend some time down at the shore and have some fun. Well, anyway, for Ring the Damn Bell, I'm John.
I'm Sanoj.
And we are out.
Out.